My dear friends, I would like to begin by welcoming you all to this Mass of the 13th Sunday in ordinary time of the year. Today's readings, particularly the first reading and the Gospel, invite us to a reflection on what I may call collaboration in the church's mission. Collaboration in the church's mission. The first reading taken from the second book of Kings, chapter 4, drives home this message beautifully. The first reading talks about the woman of Shunem and the prophet Elisha. In that reading, the woman observed a need for the prophet Elisha in his mission of announcing the good news of God. The text says she did this because she said to her husband, I know that Elisha is a holy man of God. That was the propelling factor for her to intervene, to do something. It is possible that if Elisha was not a prophet of God, the woman couldn't have done anything. But because Elisha was a prophet of God, she was propelled to do something in the name of God, for the sake of God. And that act, because of God, through the prophet, comes under what I call collaboration. The woman collaborated in the work of God. She was not going to announce or become a messenger like Elisha, the prophet, no. But she knew that Elisha was doing the work of God, and the provisions she made for Elisha was to support the work of God. And that is why today I want us to think about this disposition of the woman to collaborate with the prophet Elisha in the work of God. Every act of collaboration in ministry comes with a prize. Every act of support in the work of God comes with a cost. Every act in support of the mission of God comes with sacrifice. I am sure it took the woman and her husband something, it cost them something to provide for Elisha the prophet. And because of the sacrifice or the cost of what they did for Elisha, they received what they desired over time. The woman did not have a child, and at the end of that encounter, the reading ended by saying, this time next year, you'll be fondling a baby son. Because she made the sacrifice, she received a reward for that sacrifice. In the gospel of today, Jesus talks about the reward of working or assisting or supporting a prophet's reward. And it comes. Sometimes the way it comes may be different from what we expect. Today, in 2026, I want to call our attention to the church's mission even in this age and in this time. We often talk about two levels of the church's mission. We have those who go on mission or who actually get involved in mission. Priests, deacons, catechists, or other missionaries who get involved in the mission of the church at the first level. At the second level, we also talk about those who support the work of mission indirectly. At these two levels, every baptized Catholic is invited to participate. If you do not participate by going on mission, the church invites such individuals to also participate by supporting those who go on mission. And this is why in the church, in many parishes, in many dioceses, you hear the word volunteering, for example, in the church. What does that mean? I may not be able to preach, for example. I may not be able to celebrate the Mass, for example. I may not be able to hear confessions, for example. I may not be able to administer anything in the church, but I can offer something to support what is going on in the parish. And this is where the collaboration comes in. This is where the church invites every member of the church to think of how best we may be able to engage in the church's missionary work. I said this at the first Mass, at the 8:30 a.m. Mass. I want to say the same in this Mass. When I was coming here 2 years ago, some of my colleagues said to me, in Stillwater, you do not have a problem with people volunteering because you have many numbers. 2 years down the line, I'm still looking forward to seeing that number get involved in the missionary work of the church here. On that note, therefore, I appreciate all those who have constantly in this parish stepped up to do one thing or the other to support the mission of the church here in Stillwater. I appreciate all the sacrifice. I appreciate all the costs. I appreciate all the time it usually takes these individuals to step up and do something. I've often heard, oh, I'm so busy, I may not be able to do X, Y, Z. Everyone is busy. Everyone has got a family. Everyone has got something going on in his or her life. So if any individual steps up to do something, it comes with a cost. And that's the cost of collaboration. And that's the cost of being involved in the mission of the church. And such involvements do not go unrewarded. And that's what Jesus means by a prophet's reward. So today, I want to invite all our parishioners to ask a very simple question. As you leave the church at the end of Mass today, I want us to sincerely answer this question. Are these two levels of the church's mission, where do I really fall in? Getting involved directly in mission or supporting those who go on mission or who do the actual work? Where do we fall in? That's the question I invite all of us to sincerely answer today.